Hello and welcome to Dresing Fandom episode 11, and today we are doing the big first review of the Doctor Who 60th anniversary episode 1. He's already got his head in his hands. The Star Beast.
Yes. So we've not talked to each other at all about what we thought. This is literally our first thoughts. Did you watch it live?
I did watch it live, yes. First time I've watched Doctor Who live proper for a long time.
I confess, I got home late, so I had to jump on iPlayer, so I watched it live 10 minutes later than everyone else.
Fair enough.
But it felt live. It was live enough.
Live-ish.
Yes.
So what did you think?
Well, I think Tennant is back, and I love him. Catherine Tate is back, and I love her.
Yeah.
I think the whole opening, it's new but the same, I loved. I thought the Meep was cool. It was like a proper practical costume.
It was. I'll come on,
which is quite nice.
It was good. Yeah, the look of it was really good.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think? Is this the most coy we've ever been?
Yeah.
You've got a face. You're doing the face. You're doing the face.
Let's start with the positive, shall we? Budget. They've got a budget, haven't they? I liked some of the stuff. I liked some of the stuff they've done with the budget, with the shots, with the special effects, with the creature stuff. I thought that was good. Tennant is most definitely back, and going against what we discussed in our preview episode, he is 10. There is no change of personality, really. From my perspective at the moment, he seems to be the same.
You say that. He did reference a couple of times to sort of see. He goes, "Oh, I love you," and he goes, "Oh, I do that now, do I?" And you think, "Oh, yeah." It's 10A, isn't it? It's 10 with a couple of tweaks. It's like the brainy specs are the brainy specs, but they're a different design. The screwdriver has got more abilities.
Oh yes.
Yeah, but it's a different design. The suit it's a tight fitting suit, but actually now it's a waistcoat and all this. It's just, yeah, it's the same but slightly different.
Yeah, okay. There's the phrase, it's the same but slightly different, is probably something how I would describe this entire experience.
Yeah. Oh no.
I'm just trying to be, I don't know where to go with it. I think I just need to come out and say it and just get it out. It wasn't a good episode. I felt it was weak. The storyline was weak. It underneath it, there was nothing. It just felt very, and I know why, and I'll come to why I think it is, but it didn't feel like anything special. It actually felt like an opening episode for a series, really, which is kind of what it is. That's what I'm kind of getting at. If this was series whatever on 15, is it 14? I can't remember what the numbering system is on at the moment.
Whatever it is now. Yeah.
That would be a good opening episode, wouldn't it? Introduces a companion, introduces a family, introduces the Doctor, introduces Unit, and it'd be done. And I suppose it goes back to what we said last time. The expectations on it being a 60th anniversary, but bear in mind there's 3 episodes, but it didn't feel like anything special. It was just like, oh, right, it's just introducing Dr. Donna, lots of that. My son picked up on the thing that I picked up for the storyline. He said, bear in mind he's 7 years old, said it got to a point when it all got rushed, and it was right, wasn't it? We got to like a point and it just kind of fell off a cliff. The storyline just went, whoa, and it ended really quickly. It felt like a Moffat episode where there was a big red button and it just got switched.
Is that the 45-minute format?
Was it 45? I didn't really. Was it?
I wasn't paying attention.
Neither was I.
The classic, but the classic 45-minute format. So you have 20 minutes build up. You have a a second act, something happens, and then suddenly the third act is on you, and it has to be finished because to get the episode done and wrapped up. And especially if you're then setting up for a mini series, you don't have any time to do the cool stuff.
I suppose I'm just having a look. See, it was 45 minutes.
Was it 45, 50? It didn't feel like an hour.
I haven't got it up. It didn't feel like an hour to me either. I don't think it was. I think it was about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But it certainly wasn't like a full hour episode. I was expecting an hour, but it wasn't an hour, I don't think.
Now it's the old classic, what can we do in 45? So what did we think to Rose?
Oh, correction. It was an hour. Sorry, 6:30 to 7:30.
Was it?
Didn't feel, yeah. According to looking at the schedule. Didn't feel like an hour, did it? It felt short.
Where did those last 15 minutes go?
Exactly. It got to the point where the Doctor was kind of working out what was going on, and then suddenly the Doctor worked out what was going on in the next scene. For me, it should have had a little bit more kind of detective-y type work, possibly, because then my son said, yeah, it could have done with an extra 10 minutes to explain all that. And I thought, he's quite astute. It's quite right. Seeing it's the first proper episode of Doctor Who he's probably ever watched. That was quite good. But sorry, yes, an hour. What do we think of Rose? Oh, I don't... I think, and I'm going to be diplomatic here, that choice of storyline, and I'm not judging anyone or anything, will alienate the fan base that have already been alienated by the 13th Doctor being a woman. I don't think that's going to do anything to unite the fandom like we thought it might, like we thought bringing RTD back. It's only because at the moment all that happened at the end, I laughed out loud, and my son said, "What are you laughing at?" I said, "Don't worry, it's just an adult joke," because I knew what the reaction on YouTube is going to be like tomorrow when all the people who do not like the way a lot of things are going in Hollywood and TV are just going to use that as fodder for that continued division. And I looked at it and just went, oh dear, that's not going to do any good, is it really? And I know why they've done it, and I know RTD's been very vocal about it, and I can understand everything they've done, but this new series of Doctor Who and the one coming after it isn't going to do anything to solve those divisions in fandom. It's just going to make it worse, I think. That's I think as a character, fine. As a way of solving the Dr. Donna problem, it was cheap and it reminded me of Rose in a Parallel Universe, Clara Never Dying, and all those cheap, they haven't got the balls to kill someone off thing. Because we talked about it, didn't we? Are they going to kill off Donna? Well, they're blatantly not anymore, are they? They've just...
No. It's just fixed it. Yeah.
They've Stephen Moffat, big red reset button. They've just reset it in one go, and so ignoring all the fuss around how they did it, they've just done it and they've just reset it and they've made it, and it's like, that's cheapened her whole story arc. Now it's like, it's done. It was clever because you called it something about, didn't you, about her daughter being something to be a key to something, or it might be to do with her daughter. Well, it kind of half wasn't it?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was just like rushed and a little bit cheap.
Admittedly, I found when he's going, well, actually, I've still got to fix this problem because now it affects both of you. And they go, well, we'll just fix it. We'll just delete the problem.
Because I didn't like this bit. Oh, it's because you're a male Time Lord, you don't understand. Well, they're not real Time Lords. So regardless of all the wokeness around it and all that kind of stuff, they're not Time Lords. And that's what has been there before with Clara, with Rose, and everything else. You're not Time Lords, so don't say that. And they just it was just like, the big red reset button. It's like, oh, right, okay, so Donna's just going to be a normal companion now and there's no threat to it. It would have been better if, like you'd said in the previous thing, where if there was a timer on her now that she was going to die and they had to do something to fix it, but that's what I thought was going to happen, that she'd turn into the Dr. Donna and have 2 episodes for him to fix it.
Yeah.
But
instead we had 45 seconds.
And even when she died in his arms, it was like cheapened, because it felt really rushed. It felt, if they built up over 3 episodes to that scene and then done it, it would have had a little bit more emotion. But it was just like, oh, we're going to need to fix this now because Catherine Tate's in it for 2 episodes now. Oh yeah, we've done it.
Yeah. Did you, when the chamber got bisected?
Yeah.
Did you have Wilf flashback? I'm going, oh god, they're just separated by glass again. Are we going to have a whole thing again?
I think instantly it was. I don't know if Bernard Cribbins is in it. He did film a scene, didn't he? Because he was in a wheelchair. I've seen some on-set photos, but I thought they were going to have Bernard Cribbins in it, but maybe they're going to do it at the end. But
perhaps that's episode 3.
Yeah, but I don't know whether it was meant to be like that, but it just felt like, are we going to have this? But I don't know. I think the thing for me as well is, and this is a personal thing, I never really liked the whole Dr. Donna idea anyway when it was first done, this kind of smart aleck David Tennant impression, and then when you had both of them doing it, it's like, oh god. So I wasn't exactly enamored by that anyway. So it's a shame, because it was a clever concept that felt really rushed and could have been done, could have spread out the tension a bit. Depends what they're going to do with the rest of it, I guess. But I don't know.
So the only way is up, isn't it?
Well, positives, the TARDIS looks really nice interior.
Yeah.
And again, love the budget on that. That looks awesome. That does look really nice.
I think the inner Tennant fanboy going, oh, you're beautiful, and just running around going, yes, this is beautiful, I love it. I'm having 3 episodes in this, it's going to be great.
I think I'll have to watch Confidential, because I'm sure there'll be a clip of him recording that for the first time, because that was really cool, and that was a nice simple design again.
I did smile when he goes, oh, it's got a coffee machine, and she goes, oh, I got a 5-year-old job for spilling coffee on the computer, and when we know exactly what's going to happen, love.
Did she spill a coffee? Because I blinked and missed that. Or did the TARDIS just... she did, right, okay, I wasn't sure.
So she literally said, I'm going to do it, then walk around the TARDIS for a minute, and then just pours a coffee over it, and you go, excellent.
I wasn't sure if that was if she did it or not. I just blinked and it was like, oh, what happened there?
No, it was very much I got fired from my job for pouring coffee on a computer, and I've just done exactly this.
Yeah, well, I don't mind that so much. You kind of have to, what's the word? Turn off your brain a little bit. What else was good? I like the bits at the start where he was sneaking around the factory.
Yes.
That was really good. That felt new. That we've never kind of seen that Doctor just having a bit of a nose, just kind of, and again, the budget, the shots, and the way they did it, it didn't feel like a cramped BBC shoot. It felt like a film Hollywood style shot, wasn't it? There were lots
and
of
again,
nice...
he's just sat there, legs crossed, feet up, looking at the whole thing, and then the unit scientist goes up and goes, oh, hello, and you just think, all right.
And it was nice to see the Doctor being the cleverest person in the room back again, because we've missed that with Whittaker, where 13 just wasn't with it and wasn't clever. He was all the way through that, was one step ahead, tipped to right at the end when he kind of had to do something to fix the ship. He was always kind of just like always processing, always watching, always kind of understanding what was going on. I thought, it's nice, because that felt like the proper Doctor being the cleverest person there. Unit were good. They've obviously got a better budget now, haven't they?
The
soldiers, that looked better, and gone are the days of the awkward looking berets, and that again, that you couldn't fault that.
No, I think the psychedelic sun thing was a means to an end.
Means to an end. I think. It's interesting, the Beat the Meep thing. So that was in Doctor Who magazine years ago. And if you were like me and you Googled Beat the Meep and you read up on it, you knew the entire plot of the episode, because it was basically word for word exactly what they did in the magazine, where it was the turns out Beep's the villain, not the cute little creature. So when I'd already read about it, I was sitting there going, this is exactly the same as what is already out there, which I suppose if you're a fan, you're going to go and you'll probably read it. But I suppose that lends itself to the cheap introductory episode. It felt a bit of an anticlimax because I already knew exactly what was going to happen, and it happened near enough exactly, except for all the extra stuff, 2023 stuff that they threw in. It was exactly how it was supposed to be. So yeah, it's all right.
So is that our verdict? It was all right?
It didn't feel like a anniversary episode, which worries me for the next two. That's all I'm going to say. I'm at the point now where it's like, and I'll say this, and I had to believe that if that had been a Chibnall-Whittaker episode, it would have got criticised. But because it's Tennant and because it's RTD, it won't get criticised.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. It was weak. And it was paint by numbers Doctor Who. We've got 2 more episodes for it to get better.
Yeah.
I still stand by the fact we're not going to get a multi-Doctor episode. We talked about that before. I don't think that has kind of proven to me that he's not going down that route whatsoever. I think it's purely going to be a reintroduction to the characters. He's going to get Tennant to Shooty along this route. And I think we're just going to get 3 standalone episodes. It's not even going to have a Donna arc anymore, is it? The only arc is the Toymaker is obviously the big boss that Beep the Meep was talking about, and there's going to be something in that that's going to be the arc, but it's a very weak arc at that, I think.
Yeah. So let's address the 2023 elephant in the room.
We're going to have to. You can't not address it.
Well, yeah. And I think let's just preface this with, as 2 straight white males, this is not our wheelhouse in any way, shape, or form. But actually, did the, let's face it, the what we're going to call the 2023 stuff. So the non-binary, the pronouns, the you identify as a male, that whole element. Did it actually help the story, or was it just there for the sake of being there? And I think if you are a member of the community that this is referencing, then actually it's really good representation. That is beyond question, not a query or issue in any way, shape, or form. But actually, was it done properly, or was it cheap? And I think that's the problem. When as soon as like they had the kids on bikes calling Rose whatever they were calling her.
Yeah.
I can't remember. You think, oh, we know exactly where this is going now. So it's they brought the prejudice angle in, and then when they were going, oh yeah, but so she's non-binary, chose her own name, etc., etc., etc. And you're thinking, well, actually, this is now core to the story, but then the cure for it was just, we're just gonna give up the power and let it just ebb away. And I don't know how that works. And it felt very, this is fixed now. Yeah. I think that, just go back, let's start at the end and work backwards. That bit about ignore Rose's character. So you had Donna, who was Dr. Donna before. There was no cure. Mm-hmm. Suddenly she's saying there's a cure. That was weak. That's weak writing. And I'm standing by that. Is you had the Doctor having to sacrifice her, which cheapens that whole story arc in the series, whatever, 4. And then she stands there and says, I could just get rid of it. Well, why didn't you do that 15 odd years ago? Why? Yeah, but obviously if it's overloaded in one person, it has to be split into 2 and yada, yada, yada.
Why didn't you just... I kind of... The concept of it being split into 2, I get that, and that kind of makes sense. I think going on to the wider thing, it's difficult. It's difficult because, like I said, there is an element of fandom who will not like that one bit. And if you look at it from their point of view, regardless of whether you think their viewpoint is right or wrong, it feels like it's two fingers up to them. Tough luck. You can't watch this anymore. This show isn't for you anymore. That's what all the message was when it was Jodie, when it was Chris Chibnall. Well, this is, if you don't like it, don't watch it. This show's not for you anymore. This is for us. So I can see why people will get very angry with that. Come this time tomorrow, there'll be loads of videos on YouTube all about it. So I can understand that. But on the flip side, like you said, representation means a lot to a lot of people, and to have something like that in a flagship BBC show is always good. Russell is obviously gay, and but for me, I always thought Doctor Who, when he wrote it, didn't need to be as in your face to be representational, if that's a word, in the sense it was just there, and it was just subtle, and it didn't. It's difficult because 2023 is very different from 2005 in terms of people's opinions, the polarizing way of society, both here and in the States, and things like that. And there is a very polarizing thing that is in all walks of life these days. I was going to talk about
let's face it, the internet.
Oh yeah, the internet.
The world is a smaller place, and that's not necessarily a good thing.
And not a separate conversation for after this bit, Davros, but it's difficult because I've got no right to talk about some of these things. So, but and I think this is the problem, isn't it? We fully realise as two straight white males that actually we are not. I think qualify is the wrong word, but if we are not that. I'm really struggling for words, aren't I? We are not members of that community, and actually, our opinion on it is irrelevant. Yeah, exactly. But it's a case of actually, are you being represented for good representational reasons, or are you being shoehorned in to prove a point? And this is the I think
again, we are beating around this bush so badly because we know that we are both cis white males. And actually, we will never be the underrepresented. I can't say a word, can I? We will never be underrepresented. I still can't say that word.
It's difficult, and I've seen some comments that people have made on it. And some people who actually said, I'm trans or things like that, and I felt that this was too overtly, it was too in your face. It wasn't subtle. It was like, this is what we're doing, and we're going to punch you in the face with it, and you're either going to like it or you're not going to like it. I think had it not been the solution to the problem, had it just been Rose was Donna's daughter, and that was it, and we acknowledged that the actress playing the character is also trans as well as the character, and we talked about it in the story, but it wasn't the solution to the problem, that probably would have done it for most people. But because they had that, and then they've just woven it all the way through the story, it just hammers it home. It's a difficult thing because there's been a lot. It's not just Doctor Who, it's been a lot of it. We've talked about, obviously, Marvel and the way they've failed. And let's be honest, with forced representation in their films. And they are failing with it now. It worries me that, is Doctor Who going to go lurch that far to prove a point and just be overtly representational when they don't need to be? Because it was always representational. And the thing is, I said it before, Chibnall got criticised for being too preachy. This arguably was quite preachy, but they'll get away with it because they're not Chibnall. Yeah,
I think when they met the Meep, he goes,
that jarred a little bit.
Look at him, and when Rose goes, you've assumed his pronouns. You go, okay,
that was
cool.
Yeah, it didn't feel
all right.
It didn't feel natural. It didn't, but again, I generally don't know, but it didn't feel natural in that scene when you've got an alien sat in front of you to be talking about its pronouns. It didn't feel that's what someone would say. And I think, okay,
and again, it was shoehorned in to make the meep the absolute, which was I am the meep, and you go, yep, I'm not anything, I'm just the meep.
Yeah, and
actually is meep emperor, whatever it was. Then
yeah, that felt like it was shoehorned in. The other bits, you could argue, I don't know. I think, sadly, it's a divisive decision, whether you agree with it or not, that is only going to make things worse. And seeing the response to Davros and what Russell was saying to fans himself on social media, I think it's going to be, this is unfortunately is going to be another theme for this, and unfortunately Shooty's going to get wrapped up into it as well if it continues. And that's the sad thing, because obviously you've seen the Children Need episode with Davros and what they did to him.
Obviously it goes without saying that this whole podcast is spoilers everywhere.
No,
obviously,
if you got this far, you've listened to every spoiler under the sun, haven't you?
Yeah. So obviously Davros is no longer in his chair, is he? And you're going, well, actually, is it the old disabled guy being evil?
Well, that's it. And that was a slightly different one, because Russell was on Doctor Who Confidential saying, it's because disabled people are often portrayed as evil and we wanted to get away from that. And quite a few people messaged him on Instagram and said, I am a wheelchair user, I'm a disabled person, and I've never ever considered Davros to be disabled. He is, and has spouted off all the stuff, a mutated, injured Khaled in a survival suit. And he responded just like one word answer, tough. And it was like just responding to people who were actually quite telling him the facts about the character. And you kind of get the feeling that I've never considered Davros to be in a wheelchair until Russell T Davies said he was in a wheelchair. And now it's like, well, I've never thought of it, but you have. And now you're telling me that that's how it is. It's
Davros' little mobility scooter thing, which is great. We love it. But you don't think of Davros as disabled?
No. So I like the concept of early Davros, because when he came out in that episode, I thought, they're going to do early Davros. Same actor. That's really cool. And now it's, no, Davros is no longer going to look like him. It's like, okay, maybe the Daleks aren't going to be in it again for a while. We can probably live with that. And then a lot of people didn't like that online. And now, it's sad in lots of ways that a show has to do that, because society is so polarized like it is. It's sad that,
and I think
we have to be in this situation where you've got two sides fighting and people feel the need, they have to do it. It shouldn't be like that. Society should accept everybody for who they are and what they want to do.
And I think this is the problem, isn't it? Whatever a TV show does, someone will take issue with it. And I think that is now where we're at. So suddenly you've got to be prepared to apologise for everything you do. And you just think, come on, where does that help or does that hinder creativeness? Because actually, if you just go, I'm just going to write a good story. Everyone might not like it, but it's just going to be a solid story. And I think if you just have to then consider the opinions of however many million people, you go, well, actually, do I then do the Disney mass-produced be as bland and broad as possible, not to fucking offend anyone?
Or just go all in with the message and just have all that stuff. We're going to do this, and then it doesn't work, and then it just gets completely messed up. I don't know. It's a difficult one. I was disappointed because I had hoped we were going to get rid of the preachiness. We didn't get that. And that we'd go back to trying uniting fandom again, because that is the one thing that out of all the Chibnall era got completely messed up. We've talked about it lots of times on this podcast, is the fandom was split, but really, rightly or wrongly, it's made it worse. And I don't know. It's annoyed me. It took the shine off that episode because I knew what was coming. And it's like, I'm really looking forward. It wasn't, to be fair, it wasn't a good story. It was a bit bland. And there were some nice bits in it, and then that all happened, and it was like, oh crap! I swear on this. It's like, oh no, I know exactly what's going to happen. By this time tomorrow, the internet's just going to be awash with people fighting on Twitter, fighting on YouTube, and it's not going to go away. And you just think, fair play to him though. It's a ballsy decision to do it, and I can see why he's done it. But at the same time, it's like, oh no, do we come? I can't tell you what it is. With all the rubbishness of the Whittaker era, and it was rubbish. What really dragged me down was just everybody having an argument about Doctor Who and everybody fighting. And I just thought, I can't be doing with it. I can't be doing with all the backbiting and the snide comments, and for both sides, because one side is as bad as the other. Yeah, and I just thought, can't we just leave it alone? And just get on and just have a nice kind of just enjoy the show. But if it's just going to be a wash with sort of political stuff lurking in the background, I can't. It's like I can't be doing with another 3 years of just constant backbiting.
I think the other issue you had was it's the 60th anniversary. The hype is as hyped as hype can be. So unless this first episode was a second coming of Jesus, then
it was always going to go down.
Yeah, it was always whatever we thought it was going to be. It was never going to live up to it.
Yeah,
I think as fans, that is our cross to bear. Using the Jesus reference some more, because actually we will hype something and go, this is going to be the best thing since sliced bread. And actually, when it's not the best thing since sliced bread, you think, well, it's not very good, is it? But for a non-fan, I think this is our curse. The curse of being a fan. If I was a casual viewer and just went, I just want to watch it because it's a 60th anniversary or something, it's going to be cool. Would it have made any sense? There was the little intro. Kind of said, right, this all happened. Yeah. So actually, that has to happen. So a casual viewer can go, oh, I kind of get what's going on. Unlike the Catherine Tate's Tennant impression, that had to happen to sort of show, oh yes, I'm not her anymore. I'm Dr. Donna.
Yeah.
So as a fan, are we putting too much on Doctor Who's shoulders?
Yeah, I think I'll admit I'm guilty. I was expecting more than, but then looking back on it, I understand why it was a weak story, because like I said, it's a first episode of a series story. That's what it was. It wasn't it wasn't the 60th anniversary special episode. It wasn't anything other than reintroducing Doctor Who to the masses. That's really what it was about.
Yeah.
And the next two episodes.
If we gave it 24 hours and watched it again, would we feel the same? Would we like it more, or would we like it less?
I will probably watch it again this week before the next one, just to kind of review it. I think the next two episodes have now got a heck of a lot more riding on it, especially the last episode. This next one is supposed to be very Dr. Donna orientated, with just the two of them. So that'll be good, because Tennant and Catherine Tate are great, don't get me wrong, really good. And the writing will be relatively good, I hope. But there's a lot riding on these last two episodes now for me. Yeah. Otherwise, it just becomes a mini-series, really, doesn't it?
Yeah. If it's me, you need to do the trilogy classic. The first episode, or part one, needs to be as strong can be, because you've got to hook your audience. Part two you can have the middle dip, and then part three has got to bring it home. But part three is always the hardest, because it's a difficult third album, isn't it? So
right, is that? Let's have a look at the third one. Have they got the listings out for? Let's see how long that third episode is. BBC 1, 9th of December, isn't it?
2nd, no, 9th. Yes, 9th. Yes.
Let's have a look. Oh, that's 9th of December 2022. I think, why is the World Cup on? Thinking, whoa, I've got back in time. There's a
timey-wimey, mate.
An extra 5 minutes. So there we go. It's not actually going to be, what's that, second...
Oh, we know what the extra 5 minutes is. It's a regeneration scene.
Regeneration, isn't it? Yeah. That's basically it.
Yeah, tack on 5 minutes, job done.
Let's see what next weekend's one. 55 minutes next week. It's 5 minutes shorter. I know. No, it's going to be.
I think it's the pained looks on our faces of. It was all right.
I think the thing is, a lot of people said it was amazing. Oh, it's amazing! All the reviews. Oh, it was all okay. It was okay. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Like some review places. Oh, 5 stars, 5 stars. It wasn't. The only reason you're giving it 5 stars is because it's a return to form, and it's that nostalgia factor for what Doctor Who used to be, which it genuinely was. You could slot that into any of the series Tennant's done, and it would just stand in there as a forgettable episode that you kind of just go, oh yeah, I remember that episode. That was in that series, but it wasn't a good one.
Yeah.
It was just all right.
Compared to Whittaker's era, 5 out of 5 would do again. Fantastic, yes, brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why.
Compared to Tennant's heyday, you go, it's all right.
It's in there. It's
just all right.
It's just a filler. It felt like Monster of the Week episode. A Monster of the Week episode.
Is it Blink? No.
Is it like Family of Blood? No. I just feel disappointed, but it's my own fault for getting too excited. I should know better. I should know better by now.
Yeah. We should rename it Journeys in First Fandom to the Curse of Fandom.
Curse of Fandom. Because
we're always going to overhype everything.
I think the thing is, I was thinking about it. I went into the 50th with lower expectations because the series before had been a bit rubbish.
Yeah.
Didn't really know what it was going to be like. Stephen Moffat, you don't know, hit and miss sometimes. Turned out to be amazing. Spot on. This one I was like, it's Russell T Davies. Chibnall was rubbish. It's David Tennant. It's gonna be amazing. Oh no, crash down to earth. Yeah, there you go. This is what the title's gonna be called. The Curse of Fandom. It's true. It is. It is. And this time next week I'll be excited again. But at the same time
in an hour later we'll be disappointed again.
I don't know. It wasn't, like you said, the second coming of Doctor Who. Far from it. And I just really hope these next 2 episodes are all right. Otherwise, it's like, I don't know. I don't know.
It's got to be a strong jumping off point for the next season.
Yeah. And this is really what this season's all about.
Otherwise,
It's about
this mini-series. It's got to launch it.
Yeah, it's like we said before, it's about relaunching Doctor Who for the masses, and also really giving Ncuti Gatwa enough of a leg up to get going. Because imagine if he'd started afresh now.
Oh no!
I felt really sorry for him. It would never work.
Yeah.
So by giving him that leg up, it gives him as much boost as he can get going into 2024 to be good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't know. It's not good when you look on Twitter and hashtag RIP Doctor Who is trending within half an hour of it being shown. You just go,
and without even clicking that whatever they're called, the thing that Twitter uses. Hashtag, that's the one. I'm showing my age now, aren't I? Without clicking that hashtag, you know exactly what they're going to be talking about. Yeah. And that's the problem.
And that's what makes me feel sad that I don't know, maybe I had too lofty hopes that we could all get along, and we're never going to get along, are we, anymore?
No.
Well, we're old. There we go.
And we're grumpy.
Yeah, but I think we've been constructive here, and I've not gone in and said, oh, it's amazing, but I've also not gone and gone, I'm never going to watch it again because of this storyline.
Yeah.
It's an interesting choice, is probably my
I think it was an all right episode. It wasn't going to light the world on fire. It could have been better. Could have been a hell of a lot worse.
Yeah, could have been worse. And full credit for what they've done and the way they've done it. It's a ballsy move.
Yeah. I think next week on Grumpy Old Men Shout at Clouds, we'll review episode 2 of the miniseries.
Why? What's it? I can never remember what this one's called. Why blue yonder? Blue.
Yes.
Something blue.
Why blue? Who thing?
Blue.
Also, Universe.
Oh, that's the whole. What's it though? Isn't it? That's the multiverse thing that they're going to do, aren't they? It's coming. We're going to get.
Oh.
we're going to get all sorts of nonsense because he can do what he likes now, can't he?
Yeah.
Wide blue yonder. There we go.
Yeah.
No, that's the whole
wide blue yonder.
That's the whole thing because we're going to get supposedly.
The fact it just came up with Hooniverse, and I went, "Oh, I don't care. I just don't.
No one
just don't make me learn."
It's not Doctor Who. I hate the multiverse. I can't stand it anymore because it's so badly implemented in Marvel. I hate the concept of a joined up universe because no one else can do it. Not even Marvel can do it anymore. It was done once and it worked, but it can't. It's never been done right. But supposedly we're getting a 8th Doctor series. What else have I read that's just crazy? A Companions series with lots of them in it. Supposedly things from the Time War, all sorts of random ideas and stuff.
Well, as random spin-offs, cool. Just call it a bloody random spin-off. We had Sarah Jane Adventures. We had Torchwood.
We nearly had a Rose series, didn't we, many years ago, and that never came to fruition. So we might get a new Rose series, and then watch Twitter implode when that happens. We had Class. Class, didn't we? With
yes,
I never watched that.
No, didn't care about it at all. I think the problem is like a lot of the spin-off stuff. You just go, I just don't care. I just don't.
I think it's been done wrong so many times, and Marvel only did it right because they did it first, and even they messed it up.
Yeah.
Marvel
collapsed under the weight of its own ego.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Oh, I don't know, but we shall see what happens with that.
Have we got ourselves cancelled yet? That's the question.
No, I think these things have to be talked about. You can't shy away from it because it was so blatant.
Yeah, and I think this is the running joke, isn't it? Actually, if they blatantly put things in, and then as us we question, query, criticize, make statement, actually, you go, "Whoa, is this what we should be doing?" Who knows?
I just want to watch the show and enjoy it. I don't want to have to fight about it.
That's the problem as a fan. Can you do that anymore? I think that's what we talked about in one of our earlier episodes. What is it to be a fan? And actually, you've got to be so committed to the bloody cause and willing to die on a hill. And you go, I don't want to die on a hill. I'm quite happy sat on the ground just chilling.
That's a very good point. Actually,
and that hill I will die on.
It's like the addendum to that podcast episode is nowadays you're expected to pick a side.
Yeah.
Whether it's pro this, anti this, pro that, anti that, and if you don't pick a side, you're the one that's the problem. But it's like, well, I don't want to pick a side and support this or not support it. I just want to watch the show.
Yeah, the issue you've got is you're with me or you're against me. That's the thing. You're either on my side or you're against me. It's not you have your own opinion. It's no. You don't agree with me, therefore you're wrong.
Closing statement from yourself about the episode. 1 sentence.
One sentence to sum up the episode. It was a start and can only get better.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah. Bland series opener. Didn't live up to the hype.
Oh, our Twitter feed's going to be fun tomorrow.
Right. On that note, we will see you next week for Wild Blue Yonder.
Wild Blue Yonder? Yeah.
Well, somewhere.
Somewhere in the blue.
Somewhere in the blue. Until next time, we'll see you when we're back from the blue. It's cheerio from me.
Yeah, and goodbye from me.
Bye.